Right guys, Tom Wilson 88 here. As I said in the last video, I was going to put a cape on this guy to show family of gamers, the coach, how I do my capes. So I mentioned this in the last video. It's just a sheet of silicone. Green stuff doesn't stick to it, so that's what we're going to use. First tip I'm going to give you is this Tight. That's the other name for green stuff, Tight. Go on eBay, you can probably get it for about between £7 and £10, I think. So not that much, and you get about 3 to 4 times as much as you get from Games Workshop. Tight. So I'm going to start by taking a bit of that. I'm going to mix this off camera and then come back to me. Right, so you've got it mixed. You don't need quite this much. You need about, say, half. I'm going to show you 2 methods of doing this, but I'm going to do it across 2 videos. This is method number 1, and I'm going to call this the JOJO method, because I learned it watching Great JOJO Man. So basically, you want to keep your fingers wet, which you can do just by licking your hands. Or you can have some water ready, or you can use the Vaseline, petroleum jelly. But you just want to flatten it out. There is another way of doing this. You can take two bits of glass or 2 bits of plastic, put Vaseline on them and just sort of press them together, but I'm not a big fan of doing it that way, so I tend to just do it this way. And you want it, don't worry if it's an odd shape, because you can always go back over it later, but you want it cloak shaped, so you want it sort of tapering off at one point where you're going to put it like onto the model, as you see. So yeah, it gets wider at the bottom, it's more pointed at the top, so that's fine. Now what I do is put it down onto the silicone. As you see, it doesn't stick. It does stick to you, but that's where the colour shape comes in. Just get that wet and just smooth over it. You can also do it using the brush end, just to sort of roll and pin it out. The reason I'm not using the Vaseline is because you then end up with problems when it comes to sticking it to the model later, because, well, stuff doesn't stick to Vaseline, so you glue, and obviously later your paint and things can have problems, and you have to wash it with warm water, which I'm not sure whether that causes problems for the green stuff myself, which is the issue I have and why I don't do it. But anyway, once it's nice and smooth, I'm just going to move the camera and have a look. That's quite smooth. just have this to get your fingerprints out and whatever. But then you want to leave that to cure. You want to, because it's easy to move, you just want to leave it for a while till it's not like that. Okay, we'll come back to that when it's cured, basically. Well, you don't want it hard, but you want it to still be malleable, but not rock hard. So we come back to it in about half an hour to an hour. Okay, guys. Right, guys. It's been about half an hour. This is set quite a bit. Show you what the vise is for in a second. Right. So you've got your guy. Tweezers can be quite useful here, so you're not sticking your fingerprints in it and whatever. But you take your cape, stick it to the top of the model, get your tools, so you're sort of putting it, obviously you don't want it hanging over his face and stuff, but the important thing to remember is you can always come over here and re-green stuff over anything at this point, but you need to have it joined to the model. It's alright if it comes away later, you can come in and super glue it back on, but you want it tight for the next bit. Okay, so you've stuck it on the back of the model. Now, one thing is, you're going to want it, cloaks are not flat. Cloaks always have folds, so you want to try and put some folds in to your cloak, like that. And sometimes they come up at the edge, just stuff like that. But the vise is, so as you can see where I'm putting it, I'm trying to have it flowing away from the model. The vise allows you to do that. So you put the base in the vise, tighten the vise up. It's not working, sorry guys. One thing you can do, you can use the weapon. So that's what we're going to do. We'll use this hammer. And don't worry, this is a very unnatural angle I'm putting them in at the minute, but I'll show you a way around that. Okay, so you got them in there, and as I say, it's a very unnatural angle. Cape's coming down there, but all you have to do is lift up the vise somehow. So say you do that, stick a paint pot underneath it, something like that, and you just let that hang. Come back to it occasionally, just putting in the folds. You don't have to touch it, you can get your, come in with your tool and just, or two tools, and that just lets you do that. And this is why I call it the JOJO method. This is the part that I learned from watching Great JOJO Man, and I'll put a link to his channel over here, so you can check him out, because if you're not subscribed to him, you should be, unless you don't like swearing, because I think Great JOJO Man's quite big on swearing. Sorry guys. But yeah, just prop it up, any way you can, just to get that model hanging the way you want, and just leave it there to set, and we'll come back to that later. Right guys, I've let this sit overnight. I've actually let it sit for a day, but it doesn't need to sit for a day. I've just been busy. So yeah, I've let it sit overnight, and see the cape now. Sorry, it's out of shot. There you go. The cape now sort of gravity's done its work and it stays up of its own accord. What we're going to do now is clean it up a bit. So, what we're going to do first is we're going to start by cleaning up the bottom and make it a bit more straight edged. So I'm just going to follow that black line. Right guys, so I've got the clippers now. Just going to clip along that black line. Okay guys, sorry about this. I did trim the bottom off and I forgot to press record. All the batteries were low on the camera, but all you need to do is clip along the bottom and then run a sharp knife along the bottom just to clean it up a bit. Anyway, so now all you want to do is tidy up the top bit. I'll do that now. Let me just mix some green stuff. Okay, so you got the green stuff. Now, let's see. Back again. You just want to sort of taper into a point on the, well, on a Terminator you want it on here. On a, it's not so important on power armor. On power armor you just sort of put it around the neck and then hide it in there. Zoom in a bit. I'm just doing this to give people an idea of what to do. I'm going to go in later and make this into a fair cape. Sorry if that went out of focus. A bit more going down the cape there. I just sort of use this one first to get the green stuff down. Then go back over it with the colour shaper just to smooth it all in. You just want to do the same on the other side. Just find it easier to do it solid shape because you want it at a point. And obviously you want to hide where the green stuff's falling in to the gaps as well, so I'll go a bit over there, like that. Get that stuck down with this one. Knock off the cape that's been on there for about 6 months, no problem. Glue that back on later. So yeah, consider, even if you're going to have a bear cape, is to make the top part fair, just to hide the join, but theoretically if you just use this eventually, as you can see, it's less visible. There you have it, it's cape done and dusted. Come back when this is dry and put like something up here so it looks like the cape's not just hanging there, it's actually connected by something. Okay, so you just want to get a ball of green stuff, pop it on the end, make sure they're about a similar size. Go in with this one, just flatten it down a little bit. And using the end of a pen that you've taken the ink out of, just, hang on, let me just dip this in some Vaseline. And just press onto it like that. Now, I realise that looks a bit dull. Come back in with this, just smooth it down a bit, around there and around the edges. Bit of pressure. Then if you also come back with your hobby knife, a little bit of Vaseline, and in the circle in the centre, just do something, like, I don't know, you put 2 lines in there. Space Wolves, you can put like a rune in there or something, but just put a bit of, it doesn't matter what it is, just texture it somehow, a little bit of detail, and come back later and paint that up gold or whatever, and you've got 2 clasps. You can also add like a little bit of chain from like a small bracelet or something round. I don't do that, but you can do. Yeah, so that's how to do an exposed cape, and there'll be another one where I show you how to do a fair cape. So that's the end of this video. See you guys, have a good day.